Бачу, ніякої не було. Бачу, hello. 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 Is it everything okay with my stream? Can you hear and see me? Okay, so for today, I will comment game 5 from World Championship match. So Jan Nepo was white, he played e4. And it was Spanish, and now in previous, previous experience in Spanish, he took on c6 and played rook e1, quite rare line, but now he played d3, much more popular line, and now black has a choice between b5, which Dinteren played, and also d6 is possible. After d6, white has positional. Black has positional threat to play b5 and knight a5, which wasn't possible immediately because pawn e5 is hanging. So after d6, white should play c3 or c4 is possible as well. Or c3. a3 in this position, it's not so good because black has castle. And after knight c3, not the c3 to play for black b5, but much stronger to play bishop g4 with idea knight d4, if bishop e3, knight d4, and if compare with b5, bishop b3 or without, now after knight d5, knight takes d5, white should take with pawn, which objectively totally harmless for black. So if here a3 is normal move, and now if castle, knight c3, bishop g4, bishop e3, knight d4, bishop takes, knight d5, now white can fight for advantage, because very important that if black takes, white is taken with bishop. So it's important difference. a3 many games was played also between Nepomniachtchi and Dink in candidates tournament. It were a game, according to my memory, after knight c3, knight a5 was played, bishop a2, bishop e6, b4, bishop takes a2, something like this. Now both captures with knight or with rook are possible. So a3 is normal move. Idea the same, to prevent knight a5 to have. But okay, also after a3, black can play immediately this. It's totally playable line. So now if play c3, white has option to play bishop c2 in case if black will play. Replay previous streams you can see in YouTube channel, and okay, I am it's published. Yes, I have YouTube channel. Yes, yes. Ivanchuk Chess. Yes, I am downloading video for YouTube channel. You can follow them. Hello. Okay, I will come back in 2 minutes. So after d6, Jan Nepomniachtchi played c3. Although according to theory, a3 is main line. Probably he wanted to surprise a little bit his opponent. So he played c3. As I explained it, if in this move order, if black plays d6, c3, and now b5, usually white prefers to play bishop c2, not bishop b3. So bishop b3 is possible, but bishop c2 it's more logical to prepare d4, defend. Okay, black can play d5 now. But more often black is playing firstly castle. If black wants to play this plan, only after knight bd2, now b5 and d5. So many games was played in this position. According to my memory, the point if d4, important to play bishop g4 for black. c3, castle. Again, white has many moves, so rook e1 is natural, knight bd2 is natural, a4 is possible to consider. But Jan Nepomniachtchi played h3, just waiting move. And now black has choice. So didn't Liren play bishop b7? Personally, I don't like it too much because more sensible to put bishop on b7 when white has pawn on d4. And from b7, bishop can organize pressure against e4 pawn. So now bishop on c8, probably even more active than on b7. So very logical looks to play something else. For example, h6, a logical move to prepare rook e8, knight g5. Okay, maybe rook e8 is immediately possible, but here I am not totally sure. Probably white can try to utilize rook on f1 and play f4. How strong it is, however, it's a big question. Because, again, black has this idea, and knight d5. So this is idea from Zaitsev variation, but in Zaitsev variation, white has rook on e1. It's quite a big difference. Maybe this. And now if f4, black can take, play knight a5 and knight d5. This, and only white can be in trouble in this position. There is some theory, however, knight d2, bishop f4, queen f5, something like this. Don't. But after knight d2, probably bishop takes d5 is strong. Maybe white has some compensation after knight e4, but I remember conclusion of theory that this line is totally harmless for black. But now we can check if it works. Knight, first of all, knight takes f7 even is possible. Rook takes f7, e takes d5. At the moment white is pawn up, and black needs to be sure if compensation will be enough. Maybe will be after bishop g5. If bishop takes g5, rook f1, and then queen takes g5, bishop pawn d5 is attacked. So pawn h3 is attacked as well. Probably it's enough for equality for black, but also white can consider knight takes h7, knight takes f4, knight takes f8. With rook on e1, such opportunity not exist. Now it's possible, but again, it's a big question how strong it is. For example, bishop g5 is possible, and what to do now? White will lost his knight on f8, so probably this rook e8 is still possible. Of course, knight g5 is not only move. White can consider other moves like a4, knight bd2, rook e1, and go on. But knight g5, it's direct idea to refute, but maybe even here black can hold the position. Sorry, now queen h5 is interesting. Maybe this is the strongest. In Zaitsev system, what happened? Okay, queen h5 is possible here as well, but after h6 and bishop g5, we have same position. After knight d2, bishop takes d5, probably. If knight e4, even bishop takes e4, bishop takes e4, d5. Looks like possible and difficult to believe that white is fighting for advantage. Although still white has some compensation after bishop d3. So bishop d3. Okay, now white can just take and take pawn back, and this endgame white is obviously better. So after knight e4, black should play something else. Okay, maybe just bishop takes f4 is possible. What to play? If queen takes d5, black can just play g6 to prepare c6. Suddenly white queen in big danger, so g6 is very direct threat. If queen f5, again black can play g6. Now if queen f4, just king g7 possible, so black has pawn up in solid position. If knight f6 check, king g7, knight h5, so what is this? No, maybe even this is possible. White has perpetual check, but it's question if white can pretend for something more. For example, if rook f1, black has king e7, rook takes f4, king d7, and king goes to c6. Also here bishop takes e4 can be considered. After bishop takes e4, g6, queen takes f4, d5, and then king g7, white has compensation for the pawn, but probably it's enough only for equality. Bishop f3, for example, king h7, something like this. Okay, this is totally different game. Usually strong players playing knight g5 just to repeat position or just to fix draw. But now, so rook e8 was possible, h6 was possible. Sometimes if you are playing h6, it's important to follow knight h4, knight g6 idea, but in this position I don't think that this is really strong, because I mean, something like this can be good for white, but after knight h4, black has simple knight a5, and bishop is attacked. Now if knight g6, black can take on b3, and white cannot go back with bishop because knight takes e4 is coming, and white is just losing the pawn. So h6. Well, also after knight h4, black can consider d5. Also very unclear if white has any achievement. For example, if e takes d5, knight takes d5, queen f3, bishop e6, knight f5, queen d7. But just now, probably bishop takes h6 is coming. This is strong for white, because if bishop takes f5, bishop takes d5. If this, queen g4, bishop g5, knight h6, and queen takes g5 is coming. So this line. So after knight f5, probably black should play something else. Maybe bishop g5 is possible to consider. takes. But here probably white is better somehow after knight bd2. Although, why is better? I mean, if queen d7, knight e4 is possible. This idea, knight c5. Okay, also probably rook e8 is possible to prepare bishop f8. And at the moment, bishop takes h6, g takes h6, and bishop g5 is not so dangerous for black. If something else, bishop f8 is coming, playable position. But okay, this is a little bit complicated. More simple refutation. Knight a5. If this it's possible, but obviously by playing this, white cannot pretend for advantage. Okay, after h6, many other moves are possible, but if, for example, knight bd2, rook e8, so, and black is prepared for bishop f8. Also possible to consider bishop e6. And also possible here, bishop e6, totally possible, because if compare with this position, after bishop e6, white can push d4 immediately. Bishop b3, a takes b3, it's the strongest according to theory for white. Now, after bishop e6 in the game, pawn d4 is not protected, so d4 immediately. Okay, it's possible, but after bishop takes b3, white should take with queen. Because if take with pawn, black can just take. So after queen takes b3, black cannot take because queen d5. But after queen takes b3, if compare with normal theory, white has rook on e1. Yes, in normal theoretical position, white has rook on e1 and pawn is protected. So anyway, white will need to protect pawn in the next move. So black has good chances after queen d7 or queen b8 and then queen b7. Typical plan for even with rook on e1. But now I need to stamp it. So bishop b7 played in. Personally, of course knight a5 and c5 standard reaction, but now probably white can play d4. I have seen several games with this move order. It's a position from Chigorin system, classical Spanish, but with rook on f1. So plan of white, it's to close d5 somewhere immediately or in next move, and then rook on f1 can be useful to prepare f4. So knight h2 and f4. Who is my favorite in the match? Okay, I think Jan has a little bit more chances. So I have seen the opening from today. So they are playing now. So it was this. Okay, actually it was c takes d4 immediately, and knight f6, e takes d5, knight takes d5, knight f3, bishop e7, bishop c4, castle, castle, knight c6, takes, queen e2, bishop b7, bishop d3, queen c7, queen e4. I was really surprised to see knight f6. So. Mm-hmm. Really? French? Yes, g6, it's, I don't know what is, because now bishop d3 is passive, so, and probably he afraid about g7 square, but it looks like black always has opportunity to play bishop f6, so I don't know. For example, bishop h6, rook fd8. What is my problem? Okay, probably even possible to consider c5, but okay. It's Simagin style. Probably black has compensation even here, but okay. I'm not sure if it is enough for world championship match. Black has some compensation, but okay. So rook fd8. What is problem for black? I don't know. So plan is for black is very simple. c5 and bishop f6 is coming. So I don't see anything what black should worry about in this position. But after knight f6, he is under attack. So it's strange decision for me. But of course, there is some reason. So only Dink can explain why he played this. Good afternoon. I mean, why he played knight f6 here. So now I have seen position after knight e5, and okay, now white has. Okay, maybe world championship pressure or. So now white has good attacking chances. It's quite obviously. After g6, I don't think there is white attacking chances, and black has quite easy play. And also, of course, c5. It's okay. Maybe c5 is too risky and not for such a level, but it's at least alternative to consider. Okay, so some decision of Dink seems me strange. Even here, bishop b7, it's strange for me, especially when he plays with black. So uh, it looks like Jan is more confident with playing black. Not, I mean, results, but I mean, choice of moves. He played more aggressively and more successfully as well. So bishop b7, of course, it cannot be real blunder. It's just normal move, but I don't like it. a4. So it looks like white wants. So if I explain it, if knight a5 here, bishop d4, maybe immediately d5 possible. And then in future, white can try to utilize rook on f1 to prepare f4. For example, knight c4, b3, knight b6, bishop e3, and then knight bd2, and probably later knight h2, f4 is coming. So rook on f1 can be more useful than on e1. It's not so clear, but it's possible to consider. But after bishop b7, Jan changed his plan, so after immediately knight a5, he was ready to play bishop c2. Now he played a4 with idea to play bishop a2 after knight a5. So knight bd2 was possible as well, but probably now knight a5, bishop c2, c5. After d4, black can just take everything and played rook e8. We have a Romanician system with extra tempi. So usually white has rook on e1, now rook on f1, and because of this, pawn e4 is less protected, I mean, this system. Rook e1, c3, h3, knight a5, bishop c2, c5, d4, bishop b7. This is Romanician system. After d5, he plays usually this, and playing this closed position. And if knight bd2, he just taking everything and playing rook e8. But if compare, we can see that rook on e1 now. So this is Romanician system. Okay, black can try probably to have take immediately, but in that case, white has c3 square for his knights. So it's disadvantage somehow for black, although maybe it's playable as well. For example, knight takes d4, rook e8, knight c3, bishop b7. But okay, we can see that knight on c3 is more active than on d2, and I remember excellent game which Gata Kamsky won against Alexander Morozevich with white. I strongly recommend to see this game, but in that game rook was on e1, so it's tempi difference. Also bishop f8 is possible, but bishop f8 and bishop g5, so probably bishop b7 is more precise. If knight f5, only to play bishop f8, so it's also possible. So black has, okay, c3 d3, yes, okay, he could play knight bd2 simple and play this position. Probably knight a5, bishop c2, c5. Now d4 is totally harmless, as I explained it. So rook e1 is normal reaction. Rook e8, knight f1, h6. Idea to avoid bishop g5. If bishop f8, immediately bishop g5 is cut. Will be bishop f8 with standard Spanish position playable for both. But a4 was played. Now again black has many moves. But now if h6, knight h4, it's a reasonable idea. This or even knight f5 is possible after bishop f8, queen f3, so knight on f5 seems like stronger. No, I'm not fan of Chelsea. Seems like stronger when bishop is on b7, for example. If knight a5, bishop a2, this queen g3, it's pretty unpleasant, and Now it's a big problem for black. So with bishop on c8, he could take on f5 and everything okay. But now they cannot defend h6 pawn. So he played knight a5. And in this position I will get 10 minutes break. I need to eat something. Hello, I'm here again. Can you hear and see me? Is anybody here? Hello. Hello. Okay. So can we continue? Is it everything okay with my stream? Good. So I want just explain that bishop on a2 can be stronger now for white because black has no idea to exchange this bishop after bishop e6. Sometimes it can be tactical ideas as well. For example, black can play h6, if a4, now bishop e6. So it looks dangerous for black, but tactically works, because after bishop takes e6, f takes e6, queen b3. It can be illusions that black is in danger because b5 is hanging and e6 is hanging, but actually after d5 takes, white cannot take on b5 because after rook b8, white is just losing queen. Of course, this is not force in line, but it's just illustrations. Okay, I suppose that knight bd2 would be played, but rook e8, for example, rook e1, bishop f8, after d4, black can play knight a5, bishop c2, c5 is quite good standard position. Okay, d5, so it's standard Spanish position. Okay, after d4, also black can play bishop b7, and there is a Zaitsev system with extra tempi. So usually black has pawn on h7, but now pawn on h6. So like this. So usually this is theoretical position, and to have pawn on h6 obviously good for black, because after a3 or a4, main move for black is h6 here. Also we have considered immediately rook e8, so I can add something. So takes. After queen h5, okay, black can play h6, and e takes d5, bishop takes g5, but also maybe knight f6 is possible. And I don't know if white has something better than queen d1, because after queen e2, knight goes back to. Well, okay, I don't know. Probably white can pretend for advantage here, and after knight d2, something like this. Maybe here queen on e2 it's a little bit better than on d1, but I'm not pretty sure for this. At least I can explain that if here queen f3 it's possible, and bishop takes h3 doesn't work because knight e4 and black is losing the piece. But h6, e takes d5, takes with pawn is dangerous because d4 is coming, so bishop takes g5, and now probably knight d2, so it's interesting position. Probably white has some initiative, so because of this rook e8 is dubious, so h6 or bishop e6 looks like very logical. So knight bd2, rook e8, rook e1, bishop. Ongoing game. So now knight a5 and c5. It's good because. Okay, Jose Gonzalez, I remember you. Are you living in Hungary, right? Yes, you are from Mexico, but are you living in Hungary? In Barcelona now, but before you lived in Hungary. Okay, maybe I mixed something. Now if knight g3, probably d5 even can be considered. But if you are playing d5, always d4. It's question. Sometimes it's strong, sometimes it's not. Probably in this position it is strong. So, okay, g6 is possible. So if d4, black will play in Romanician style. Takes everything, bishop b7, bishop g7, something like this. Well, so in current game, I don't know what is position in current game. So can you tell me? So after knight e5, I have only knight e5. I have seen. I don't know what was after. So and I like it. So I didn't like knight f6 because g6 was more logical, and now I was sure that white has good possibilities to attack, to win the pawn. So bishop takes h7 and queen takes e7 is direct threat, so black has to do something. If h6, bishop takes h6 can be dangerous. So I don't know what currently they have on the board, but knight f6, I will put exclamation mark. Rook a d1, rook a e1, g6. So rook a d8. Rook a e1, g6. Okay, so we can analyze briefly. So rook a d8, probably idea to play rook d4. So if bishop g5, rook d4 is prepared. I have feeling. And now after queen h3, Black can consider several moves. Maybe even rook fd8 is possible. But not bishop e4, of course, because takes, and knight d7. So rook d4 is very logical. Very likely he would play this. Also, I'm not clear that after, I'm not sure that after, yes, sorry, queen c7. Later. Mhm. Rook, sorry, after rook, so he didn't play bishop g5. So after bishop g5, rook d4, queen h3, maybe just h6 is possible now with rook on d4. Black is not afraid any attack, and intermediate move c3 doesn't work because rook takes d3. Okay, so after rook a d8, he played rook a e1. Okay, logical move. And now g6. Bishop g5. Well, black has threat knight d5. Probably it's possible, however, to consider knight c4 here. If queen c6, f3. If knight d5, bishop g5. And some problem for black that knight a5 can be unpleasant in some moment, but maybe it's possible to equalize. Okay, f6 can be threat. Now even c4 and then take on a6. f6 will be threats. So probably black is okay. But okay, so what was in the game? So knight c4 he didn't play. He played bishop g5, rook d4, queen h3, queen c7. So what is the reason of queen c7? Not so easy to understand. Why not knight g4 instead of rook a e1? Don't know, probably black can just play rook f e8. I'm thinking, or maybe h6. Good question. Maybe rook f8 is possible as well. So idea, go to e7 with king and then to attack b2 pawn, or to prepare king e7, rook h8. For example, if this, if just direct play this. So b2 pawn is attacked, and for example, after rook b1, black has king e7 with idea rook h8. And also, if queen h5, c4 looks like extreme. C4 bishop takes c4. But rook d4. If bishop e3, queen c6. Or just queen c6 immediately. Queen c6. My idea of queen f3, take, and rook d4. Rook takes d3. But okay, rook takes d3. What is point if c takes d3? Now I'm not sure that black has enough compensation. Knight d5, queen g3, h5. Mhm. Bishop g5, f6. Interesting. But what is this? Knight e5? h4, queen g4, f5, queen f3. Okay, so maybe rook f8. Why not? Bishop d6 now. But now knight c4, knight takes f4. It's important. So because if bishop f4, knight b6, white is okay. Bishop d6 is -2. Good. Okay, maybe. Okay, complex, but it's possible to calculate in World Championship match. So what they have in the board? So bishop g5, he played rook d4, queen h3, g6, right? He played g6. And now, rook on e1. Sorry, rook was on e1, so he played this. G6, bishop g5, rook d4, queen h3, queen c7, b3. So this we have now on the board. Knight h5. So rook fd8, knight takes f7, king takes f7, queen takes e6 doesn't work. So this is bad for black. So b3 is waiting move. And also queen c7 was threat c4. So b3 is idea to stop c4. Maybe c3 was possible as well, but why not c3? Rook d5. Rook d5 and somewhere c4 can be possible. For example, after f4, c4, if bishop takes, rook d2 is coming. So b3 idea to stop c4. Why not knight h6? Bishop h6, where bishop h6? After knight h5, bishop h6. Or where? Or here bishop h6. Here bishop h6, I am afraid that c4 is very strong. And white is losing material. So, for example, this simply c4 takes. So b3, knight h5. Okay, but if bishop c1, knight f4 is coming, black has an excellent position. So this is on the board now, right? Okay, as I see, black is fine, but it's just tricky position. So white has extra pawn in queen's flank where there are no real fight here. So black has one extra pawn in king's flank. So fight is in king's flank. So black has extra pawns. Bishop h6 is possible, but after bishop h6, black has several options we can consider them. Probably even rook d8 is possible. It looks like just blunder because takes and queen takes e6 check, and of course white wins here. But after knight takes f7, rook h4 is possible. And now black is winning. So knight takes f7 doesn't work. So, so rook fd8 is possible. Okay, white can play now f4 probably. But position is pretty unclear. Bishop f6, for example, is possible. Somewhere knight takes f4. Okay, so f4 was played. Really? Instead of bishop, after knight h5, f4 was played. F4. Bishop d6. Okay, very complex position. I like how they play because a lot of tension, a lot of fight in almost in each games. Okay, second game was, it was third game. I mean, third game was not so big tension in Carlsbad variation, but anyway, it was interesting fights. F4 bishop d6. Yes, very interesting position. So somewhere black can play f6 after queen takes e6 check, king g7, but what can do white? Okay, bishop h6 looks like normal, and after rook fd8 to play some move like queen e3, for example. Try to consolidate pieces and defend f4 pawn. Because at the moment black has also threat knight takes f4 or rook takes f4, give exchange, but have pawn and Jean doesn't like bishop d6. Wanted c4. Okay, c4. Okay, maybe c4 is possible, but okay, it's complicated. Okay, so we can try to guess what Jan will play. It's not so easy. So white should do something because black wants to take on f4. Bishop takes g5 was better for black. Why? And after f takes g5, knight f4 or what? But why it is better for black? I'm not sure that black is better. For example, if knight f4, queen g3, knight takes g2, rook e2, and knight is trapped. Knight h4 is possible also. But knight h4, c3. Rook d5 also. Is this? Black is ready to knight f5. Rook e2, c4 is your proposition. Yes, good. Also interesting. But anyway, I don't see what is wrong with knight h4. Okay, so what Jan will do, it's quite interesting. So f4 he played, and Dean played bishop d6. So if bishop h6, probably knight takes f4 is possible. So my idea, if bishop takes, rook takes, bishop takes e5, and this looks like promising for black. Because two bishops are very strong. If rook h4, probably just a5, h5, probably bishop d4 check, this idea bishop f2, if it works. Maybe it doesn't work somehow, but okay, so h5 is solid and strong enough. So if bishop h6, knight takes f4. If rook takes, black taking on e5, and they have pawn up, and good position. I don't think his bishop h6 is forced, but bishop takes bishop h6, knight takes. Oh, okay, f4. So this. H5, bishop g6. And then queen takes f6. So probably I should start with check. Yes, you are right. Immediately h5 is bad because bishop takes g6. So I should start with check, and now probably h5. Bishop f2 doesn't work because rook takes h7. Queen takes g6 is threat. So bishop d4, king h1, h5. No. What is this? f5 maybe, but after f5, rook takes e6 is coming. Oh, you mean here f5 maybe, without check. But anyway, queen e3, somehow it's possible. So I like this, and now h5. Important that rook takes e6 doesn't work for many reasons. F takes e6, queen takes e6, queen f7 is the simple reason, but probably Also bishop c8 is possible after rook takes e6, I mean. But okay, so it's more simple. Okay, if not bishop h6, what else white can do? If queen e3, f6 looks like unpleasant. c3, c3, knight takes f4. Ah, but maybe there is difference. So this, and now rook h4. So now white has pawn on c3, and there is no check from. And if h5, bishop takes g6. If f5, queen e3, bishop takes c3, queen takes e6 check. Looks like promising more or less for white. Okay, now black to move, first of all. So bishop takes g6. White bishop is not protected, so black can try rook d8 now. But okay, bishop e4. Rook takes h7 was bad because rook takes d3, of course. But after bishop e4, white is okay. So probably c3, it's option. C3, knight f4, rook takes f4. Bishop takes e5, bishop takes g6. Yes, it's really interesting. Crazy. Okay, maybe it's crazy. But what is normal? Unfortunately, I don't know what is normal. Because I don't know what is normal, I don't know what is crazy. So only what can I do? It's calculate this somehow. For example, this takes, bishop f6, queen e1 check is only move because queen e3 lost immediately. Now there is no direct mat because black has, after rook f4, black has g5 or rook c8. Okay, but if Maybe white has something else. So at the moment, white has exchange up, black has pawn up. Probably just bishop f6 is possible, exchange bishops and play this position. King g7, queen h4 probably. This actually happened, so rook on f6 on the board. So what is on the board now? So c3 on the board. Looks like black is forced somehow to take on f4 because if rook d5, bishop e4 is unpleasant. If rook d2, even possible to take and play knight c4. So c3. Rook takes f4 also was an option. And after, so also interesting option. So bishop takes f4 we were considered already. This position, and rook takes f4, bishop takes e5. What is this? Rook d8 is played. But now probably rook c4 white can consider, or rook h4. Rook h4, bishop takes c3. After bishop takes h3, bishop takes g6. Maybe rook h4 is possible. Now bishop on g5 is stronger than knight on f5 somewhere. Rook takes h5 can be threat. Thinking about this, but it can be made somehow. But how? Just bishop e3 probably. But if bishop e3, king f6. Bishop e3, king f6. I don't see direct mate. Bishop takes c5 probably simply. Or rook takes c5. Or bishop takes c5. to prepare. Okay, okay, it's extremely dangerous. So in the board we have knight takes f4, this, rook d8, and now bishop e4 looks like the most logical. So black can just take, hardly take with rook from e1 is good because rook d1 check is coming. So takes and bishop g7. Here white is better. Queen e3, then rook c4. But okay, probably after bishop e4, black has something else. Bishop f6 can be considered. Because if rook takes h7, I will have several possibilities. So first of all, this necessary to calculate, of course, but also queen e5 can be big problem for white. Because I don't see any defense against bishop takes e4. So after bishop f6, if rook g4 h5 is coming, which is unpleasant for white. But white can just take. And after takes, rook is camping, so black has no time to take the bishop. So bishop f6 is not so strong. So bishop e4 is correct. I like white in this position. Bishop takes c3 instead of rook d8. Bishop takes c3, and after rook takes h7, what? Queen f4 or what? What is the best for black now? It's not obvious, at least for me. Of course, even queen f4, even c4 can be considered like option. With idea if bishop takes g6 to play queen b6 check, and only now to take. But your proposition queen f4, it's or your proposition or engine proposition. Yes, why not? Rook f1. Queen d2. Bishop takes g6 instead of rook takes. Here bishop takes g6. Yes. Also crazy. Okay, if I just take, not so clear what white can do. Yes, I understand. It's very sharp position and price of each move can be very high. Yes, this, and equality. Okay, maybe equality. Maybe white is slightly better. It's the end. Okay, it's very interesting, but my propositions come back to game 5, which I started to comment. So I will do it. So knight a5 he played. Okay, it wasn't only move, but now if h6, knight h4 can be idea. It's already explained. So knight a5, bishop a2, c5, bishop g5. Okay, very standard reaction in this position is knight d7. Idea to keep knight because knight can fight for d5 square, bishop cannot fight. I don't know why Ding didn't play this. Probably something concrete white has, but no, I mean this knight a3 after b4 takes queen d2 takes. He said he was considering. Okay, but okay, now doesn't look like dangerous for black because he can take at knight c5. Okay, after b4, white can just play knight c4, but okay, takes, and a5. So knight d7 was very reasonable move. Okay, probably white can just take. He gave some concrete lines. Okay, maybe. Unfortunately, I didn't see their lines, so I don't understand. Okay, 97, in my opinion, okay, of course, it's a standard move in such type of positions. So black can also consider this with same idea to preserve knife from exchange. But after knight h5, bishop e3, it's possible with idea knight takes e5. So black should waste time. But so knight d7, now bishop e3, it's not logical because okay, so h6 he played, takes, knight bd2, natural moves. So white plan is more or less obvious to fight for d5 square. Black can do many things. g6 looks like very natural to prepare bishop g7. But the question if bishop d5 is a strong option for white to fight against knights. Of course, after bishop d5, black is not forced to take immediately. So possible to play bishop g7 because rook takes a5 doesn't work. Bishop takes d5, and if rook takes b5, bishop c6. Rook b3, bishop a4. And so black can play this and then decide what to do, to take or not to take on d5. So it was logical at least. So knight c6, it wasn't necessary, but okay, it's normal move. Rook takes e1, queen d7 also option. But probably it will be the same because he took and came back to d8, to d1. Rook e1, rook a8. Also, it's not clear if rook is, if black really needs rook on a8. So totally possible was to play g6. For example, knight f1, bishop g7, knight e3, king h7, something like this. To prepare f5 probably. Or to prepare knight e7, so depends what white will do, of course. White is still slightly better, but nothing special in my opinion. He played this, bishop d8, so he didn't like. So, okay, so what was alternative? g6 looks like normal move, and then bishop g7. Probably knight d8 with idea knight e6. Okay, but he played this bishop d8, so he didn't like. Big mistake. Okay, maybe. Because after bishop d8, black king became weaker. Knight e7 was fine. Was fine, but it is also fine for white. Knight f1, for example. I have no feeling that black has complete equality here. For white is more easy to play. But probably g6 and bishop g7. Nothing special. But if play g6, why not play g6 immediately? So if black wants, they can play knight e7 now. Ah, or here g6. Okay, so he played bishop d8, knight f1, knight e7, takes, knight e3, bishop b6. So this was his idea. So he wants to play c4 somewhere, but at the moment it is not threat because d6 is hanging. Another possible move was bishop c7, probably to prepare d5. Also, it's very far from clear. d5 is so strong. For example, h4, d5, takes, knight f5 is possible. Rook e8 also. Okay, after bishop c7, white can consider simply c4. It's a very logical move positionally to stop d5, then try to fight for squares d5 or f5. The tactical point that black cannot take because knight d5 is coming. Also, here bishop a5 doesn't help because again knight d5 knight is hanging. So after c4, black has problem with plan. But who knows? Maybe black can take. If knight takes, it's possible, but white is losing control on d5 square somehow. If pawn takes, my idea was to play rook a2. Very concrete idea. So I'm attacking b2 pawn and I don't see how white can defend it comfortably. Because after b3, rook b2 or rook a3, after knight d2, bishop a5 is coming. Okay, maybe queen b3 it's possible. This way to prevent d5. But in that case, black can play rook d8. If c4, for example, rook b8, something like this. Okay, bishop c7 looks like solid option. Maybe knight h4, knight f5, however, is possible. g6, queen g4, try to organize some attack. Somewhere queen d7 also can be threat. For example, if d5, queen d7, it's extremely strong. But okay, queen c8. Knight f5. I don't know which knight. Probably this knight. So if bishop d8, knight takes g6 is coming, and it looks like nightmare for black. If rook a4, rook e4. So probably knight h4 is problem after. Queen g3 instead of knight f5. Yes, queen g3 is possible as well. So white has some threats which cannot be ignored. So yes, bishop d8 is dubious move, I agree, but Certainly not losing move, but dubious. Okay, maybe it was reasonable for black just wait, for example, to play g6, not hurry with to play with bishop. Knight e3, king g7, something like this. But now white can consider d4 even. So h4 also possible. To prepare h5, if black play h5, knight g5 is possible, this exchange. How strong it is, I don't know, but at least like possibility. It's possible to consider. Okay, but he played this, so knight e3, bishop b6, so h4. So now knight h4 also was possible if g6, queen g4. It's more or less same ideas. Jan played h4, so c4 also was option now, because now black cannot attack a2 pawn easily. So after this also d6 pawn is not protected, and after bishop c7, maybe nothing special for white rook a2. So I would check knight takes e5, d takes e5, queen d7, but I'm not sure if it works. Also if this black is bishop a5. Probably black is okay here, because not so easy how to defend. Okay, maybe here white can try this idea. But it is a big question. Even king f8 is possible. King f8. So h4 he played. Logical move. He is fighting for some space in king's flank. h5, c4, d4, and now e takes d4. Looks like a serious concession. Much more natural, in my opinion, was rook d8. Just keep tension in the center. And to ask what white wants. Knight h4 probably is possible, but it's necessary to calculate concrete variation. For example, this black cannot take on e4 because of knight f5, but d5 is coming. The situation is very unclear. For example, if knight f5, black can just take, and queen f6. White has no time to organize serious attack. Maybe knight f5 immediately, it's more precise. For this reason. Because now after knight f5, black has no square f6 for his queen. Always another knight. It's also possible. I don't know what is better and why. Okay, probably rook d8 was better, but what to do after knight h4? It's not so clear. Of course, black can try just defend his position, for example, queen d7. If knight f5, just take. Queen e6, if queen g4, queen f6, something like this. d5. d5 also possible, yes. Yes, but if d5, I just take, maybe with pawn. But maybe queen f6 now it's possible. A tricky position, maybe queen f6, because if knight takes, white can be pawn up here. If queen takes, knight f5 is coming, and it is unpleasant somehow. Because knight e7 is threat, and also queen g4 is unpleasant threat. But probably after e takes d5, queen f6 is a good idea. Didn't lost on time today? So what is after queen f6? Also white has idea take, because d4 knight f5 doesn't work, so d takes e4 queen g4. What is this? So it seems that now nobody interested with my analysis. Everybody is interested what happened today. Is it true? Okay, no problem. It's totally normal if something interesting happened. So if d5, what is this? D takes e5 and queen g4. So what black should do? Okay, I'm trying to continue, but I don't know what black should play in this position. Rook d2 doesn't work because knight f5. White is just winning. So if bishop takes e3, rook e3, rook d2, rook takes e4, rook takes b2, e6, it looks like very unpleasant for black as well. So my recommendation was queen d7 after knight f5, just take and queen e6 probably. Probably here black can hold the position, but anyway, white seems to be more active, but black has contraplay. For example, this. Also queen g4. Instead of rook d2, queen d5. Queen d5. Idea to exchange queens. Yes, it's reasonable. Without queens. So, okay, rook d8. Okay, it looks better, but because e takes d4, black is giving the centrum. But he took and play this. Oh, okay. I remember that some commentators told that queen f3 was strong. Probably they are right. It looks like very logical move to defend f2 and to prepare knight f5. Queen g4 was played. And now I have seen that queen d7 was correct move. After queen d7, black can hold the position, according to commentators. Because if queen f4, bishop d8 was played. Okay, but after queen f6, according to commentators, it's already bad for black. Maybe they are right. It's very difficult to find useful move. Queen d7 maybe it's still possible here. Rook c8 looks very strange. Queen d7 looks like more or less normal move. Because knight e5, it's just queen c7. It's not a big threat for black. Or maybe queen b7 is also possible. Knight f5, it wasn't according to many commentators because queen d7 was possible. So according to many commentators, queen f6 was serious mistake. But okay, now queen f6 was reasonable alternative, I agree. And what to do? Didn't resign it. Yes, queen f6 was possible. So if knight h4, probably black can consider take and g6 even. I don't know if it works or not, but like idea. Okay, maybe after queen f6, black can hold the position. But here after queen d7, is it so bad for black? Of course, white is better, but personally for me, it's question how much white is better. g5 maybe. We can take, or maybe rook e8 is possible even. And take with queen f6 is coming. You just take, rook e8. Knight e5, knight c6, rook e8 is coming, so this is not so dangerous. And what is doing knight on c6? So it's not the best idea for white. Okay, so g5 takes rook e8. And now probably knight e4 is possible to attack the bishop. Yes, knight e4 looks like very promising move. Also to prepare f6. Yes, also possible to take firstly on e8 and then play knight e4. Surely white has big advantage. Probably even decisive advantage. Yes, probably. So if takes on f5, only queen d7 was possibility. And probably practically was better to play queen f6. And for white, probably queen f3 was strong. But he is just waiting, and now he's just losing because of beautiful combination. Knight g6 is coming, if takes h6. White wants to take on g7 or play h7. Depends what black is doing, and after this, it's just checkmate. So rook a8. King e2 also possible was king g2, because after queen a8, white can simply take an f6. It looks like quite winning line for white, because, for example, if takes, check, white has pleasant choice between rook e8 and h6 immediately, so both win easily, but he played king e2, 7, 6. Knight is much stronger, yes. Okay, so this is Ting resign. Okay, so game today is finished, so we can come back what happened after we have seen what happened in time trouble. So we have seen b3. No, okay. So, knight h5, f4. Knight h5, I need to promote variation. f4, bishop d6, c3. So we have seen this. Also, bishop takes c3 was possible, but queen d6. Somebody told. But he played rook d8, so what happened later? Is it everything okay? Somebody can hear me or not? Hello. Aha, low. Okay, we'll add low. We'll add volume. So what happened after rook d8? Aha. Okay, it's strange with. So can you just give text without time? Okay, I will take 10 minutes break and come back. Mhm. Hello, can you hear me? I'm here. Okay, so after rook d8, bishop e4, yes, bishop e4 I recommended. Yes, and very important that after bishop f6, white can take, rook is hanging. So he took on e4, which looks natural. Bishop g7. Queen e3. Queen e3 was my proposition. But he played rook d5. He didn't play bishop g7. After bishop g7, my proposition was queen e3, not allow rook d2. Of course, black can, sorry, after queen e3, rook d5, black can play. And then queen d6, so solid position. Yes, I understand that he was in big time trouble. So, but if you are in time trouble, very logical to have pieces well defended. So bishop g7 or bishop f6 was logical from this point of view. After rook d5, okay, c4 doesn't work immediately because bishop d4, but somewhere something can happen. But from other point of view, he is preventing queen e3. So because now h2 pawn is attacked. So rook h4. Now black has choice again. h5, it's natural, probably not only move, because I don't know how strong is rook h7. Probably black can consider something like queen d6, with idea if rook takes h7, rook d1, so it's totally possible. Or queen d7 or queen d8 with same ideas, so to prepare invasion on d lines. Frankly speaking, I'm not sure that rook h4 was the best because of this. Looks like black has very strong contraplay. But okay, he played h5, probably it not spoiled anything. So instead of, it's question if white has anything better instead of rook h4. Because this c4 is possible. C4b takes c4. And black cannot take with queen because this, and if this, rook e3 is coming. So c4, b takes c4, rook c5, it's possible, but it's quite unclear. So maybe rook e2 was logical try to consolidate pieces. Okay, but rook h4 it's strange somehow because Tournament link, but for what? Okay, I have text, so he played queen d6, so h5 was possible. Okay, he played queen d6. So rook takes h7, rook d1, or probably rook d3 is also strong. Now queen e3. Tournament link? Which tournament link? I don't understand which tournament you mean. And where to send? To my email or where? Aha, so rook h4 wasn't attacking move, so it was idea to defend h2 pawn and free queen. So probably the most precise was queen d8, not allow queen e3. Yes, I like queen d8 from this point of view. Yes, but I see text. So Cheslav 2022 sent me. Okay, probably this I should play. If rook d3, rook e3, something like this. Well, so he played queen d6, queen e3, h5, g3. Bishop f6, rook c4. And now, okay, if you are in time trouble, so h4, it's hardly good idea. Because h4 require some calculation. But anyway, this position, it's not easy to play in time trouble. For example, after king g7, rook f1 is possible, and somewhere rook f4 is threat. Okay, black can play bishop e5, try to keep the position, but somewhere b4 and take on a7, so something like this. Maybe objectively it's not so strong, but in time trouble this is not pleasant to calculate. Queen takes f7, rook takes f7. What else? Queen a6 is possible. Try to immediately attack. But okay, so he played this. He played bishop f6, rook c, rook c4, h4 he played. He gave a pawn. Why? Jan just took the pawn, and now not clear what to do. So, okay, practically h4 was bad decision in time trouble. So black should play some waiting move, like bishop e5, come back, for example. So just, but okay, so still knight moves, 9 moves till move 40, so it's not easy. But another rook d3, queen takes uh, queen takes c5 is possible because after takes bishop c3. If king on g7, black would win this because rook is hanging and rook d4. But now rook c8 check and rook e2 and probably this is draw. So maybe king g7 was the best here. Or bishop f6 start after rook c4, king g7 now. But now rook f1. It's not so easy. Somewhere rook f4 is threat. So for time trouble, it's not easy position. Okay, but he played h4. G takes h4, so he just gave a pawn and not so clear for what. He played rook e2. Yes, I agree that time is a very important factor. Time, self-confidence, many factors are important in world championship match, not only chess. So, and what now he played? Rook d3, why not check? This. But queen e4, of course not queen f3 because rook g1. But queen e4 is totally good and probably rook d2. Black has good chances to draw. So he played rook d3, he gave another pawn, so probably time trouble was very serious. So after rook d1, probably position is not so bad, but anyway, white is playing for win already. Probably here rook e4 is possible. And if rook d3, my idea is to play c4. Okay, but what he did, so he played here rook d3. Instead of rook d1. So rook d1 was correct. He played rook d3. Queen takes c5. Now rook d1 check. King g2. Queen d3. So he gave many pawns. White can just come back to e3, but Jan play rook f2, which also looks reasonable because he just attacking the bishop. White is totally winning. Black has no attack. In case of checks, white has h3 square for his king. It also can be important. So Dink played this, and after rook f4, queen takes c3. He lost by time or he resigned, it doesn't matter because white is totally winning after queen takes c3 and bishop and rook takes f7 check. After rook d3, after rook d3, so rook d1 was 0. Is it true? Okay, so after rook takes e2 cannot be 0, so rook d1. Yes, but okay, how it is 0? Okay, king g2, how it is 0? So queen d5, queen e4, rook d2. This is correct. Anyway, it doesn't look like 0. It looks like white has winning chances anyway because they have exchange up. So I'm not agree that this is 0. Yes, computer evaluation. Yes, for example, king f1. So where it is 0. If rook d1, king f2 is possible. Maybe even king f2 is possible immediately. So, for human reason, looks like white has exchange up and quite good winning chances. Black has no even pawn for exchange at the moment. So bishop d4 doesn't work because rook takes d4 and white will win in pawn endgames. So where is 0? It's just queen d6 probably. Rook d1 and rook d5. Uh-huh. Okay, rook d5. He wants to hold, but okay, it's certainly white is better. Okay, rook f2, for example. I think difficult to agree. Okay, this computer looks like queen e7. Queen e7, rook f4 already is possible. Rook f4, bishop h4, rook f7, bishop f2. Mhm. Okay, maybe even this is possible. Rook h5. Okay, maybe a computer can hold this position. Okay, so it's enough, I think. So I comment that game 5 and also somehow game 7. So thanks for your attention. Goodbye. Wish you a nice day. bishop e5 is better for black. Here bishop e5. Yes, so if this, bishop h2 and rook d1. Yes, bishop e5. But maybe just queen e2 is possible. Now bishop f4 and rook d2 is coming. So maybe, okay, queen e2, bishop f4, queen f2, like. If e5, rook e4. Okay, but certainly it's necessary to have time for such a position. Well, so I will come back. My next appearance will be game 6.